was that, Mario Brothers, man?
It was. That was the. that was some major sevenths up here, and then, because this is my first interview, I'm like, oh snap, what to play? First level of Super Mario Brothers, because why not?
Okay, all right, okay, cool. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, we hanging out with another Detroit bass player, another international Detroit bass player. I'm gonna let him explain that in a minute. We hanging out in the basement. That's BASSmint. And won't you tell us your name, sir?
Joshua Friedman.
Joshua Friedman, how you doing? Welcome to the basement, brother.
Thank you, thank you. This is my first time down here, so very nice.
Yeah, and we got some other bass players hanging out with us in the basement. This is our pre-Father's Day edition, even though we probably won't see this until pre-Thanksgiving or Christmas, because you know how slow I am. But we also got in the basement with us a BASSmint alumni. Tell us your name, sir. Don Mex, BASSmint alumni. You know what? I'm gonna do an interview with you in the basement. We already did an interview with him at one of our BASSmint thingies somewhere else on location. But we're gonna put you in that hot seat, man. See what happens one of these days. We also have with another BASSmint alumni. Tell us your name, sir.
Tony Big Papa Mo.
Welcome back to the basement, bro.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there, hanging in there.
Hanging in there. We're going to talk to him a little bit, too, in a second, I guess. We're going to do a little round table here in a minute. Also on this side, another BASSmint alumni. Tell us your name.
Mo Hughes.
Mo Hot Seat Hughes. Welcome back to the basement.
You see what he's talking about when my video comes up.
Y'all got to check out his interview, too. Did I post your interview yet?
No.
I haven't posted it.
You posted Jonathan's.
Okay, y'all was here all on the same day.
Yeah, you posted the round table we did.
Oh, okay, all right. When you got the strings, I know I had you on.
Right. I showed that to people. They loved it. That was great. That was beautiful.
Yeah, and also hanging out in the basement is another alumni, Mr. Seven String Head himself.
I'm a little shy today.
He got that big old monstrosity. Tell us your name.
James, Forme, how you doing?
Another awesome bass player. I'm trying to get him out there on do some gigs.
Oh,
this boy is awesome. I'm telling you, man. But right now we got Josh, man.
What's up?
Man, first of all, I ain't want to keep you. Now, I'm gonna just ask you a few questions. But when we all came here in the basement, you started playing. You was throwing some awesome stuff out there.
Thank you.
Could I just hear a little bit of that awesome stuff, the thumpity thump?
Like,
the gal. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that very cool. That was awesome.
Thank you.
I forgot to turn the camera all the way around that way. Our gracious host, Mr. Reginald Canty.
Forgot me as your right.
Yeah. You know, the fly on the wall. He always in the basement. Hey, check this out, man. So, look, let me ask you a question. The first question I always like to ask people. When did you start playing the bass, and why?
Oh, man. I started, like, the very first time I ever touched a bass, or, like, the very first time I ever actually thought, like, oh, I should be a bassist. You know what I mean? The first time I ever played bass was maybe 11 years old, because I was learning how to play acoustic guitar at the time, and my teacher was like, yeah, you know what, you should consider playing the bass. So I had a couple bass lessons, whatever, it was fine. And then in high school, there was a rock band that was looking for a bass player, and you know, they heard me kind of messing around on some other guy's bass that he happened to have at high school, and they were like, Josh, why don't you join our band? You should be bass.
And what high school is this?
This would be the now defunct Andover High School, but...
And what city is this?
It was in Bloomfield Hills at the time.
Okay.
But now it no longer exists.
Welcome to the club, bro.
Thank you. But anyway, so I played bass then in high school. And then I didn't really touch the instrument again until maybe like 2007 or so, when, well, I mean, I touched the bass a little bit, but I didn't join it as a group until maybe, I don't know, 2007 or so, when I joined a group who also needed a bass player. And I thought, okay, I'd like to play bass. It's fun. You know, it's a lot more, how do you say, I like the tactile feeling that you get when you play with your fingers rather than a pick on a guitar.
Yeah.
So I played bass there and then, and you know, I switched back and forth between guitar and bass, whatever people asked me to do.
Okay,
That's
let me
the long and short of it.
let me ask you this. How long was that gap, that stoppage between high school and when you picked it back up in 2007?
Let me think.
How many years you think that was, or was it a couple of months?
Well, I hadn't I had a bass, like just to mess around with and practice
Mm-hmm.
during those years. So between high school and 2007, that would be, what, 3-4 years maybe?
Okay, I was just wondering because a lot of bass players, they, you know, find other callings and neglect the bass for a little while. I mean, I'm just saying
Right.
neglected. It's not neglect. It's life. You know, life gets in the way, and then
Well,
so
it was guitar that got in the way, but still,
okay.
you know.
All right, well, that's good, man. Now, how did you get so good? When did you start getting good? All of the thumpity thump and all the other extra stuff that you do, man.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes,
I
you
don't know.
are.
I never really thought of me as being that great. I don't know. It's just, you know, a matter of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, you know, until you can get it right. And I still haven't quite gotten it quite right.
I hope somebody listening. I hope somebody listened to what he just said. He said over and over. He said the word over and over again
Yep.
too. And that's how some of us have to get it done. You have to keep working at it. So if you want to get good at something, don't get discouraged because you can't get it. Just keep cracking at it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now after when you started playing 2009 or 7 and stuff, and
Right.
then I heard that you've been in Detroit, and I heard that you just heard about the Detroit bass players,
Right.
and this is like 2015 right now.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so what was the delay and why you just not hearing about the Detroit bass players?
All right.
I'm
right.
That's not a negative thingy. It's just I'm just curious how come everybody haven't heard of the Detroit bass player.
All right. So after college, I left the States, went to Japan first as an English teacher, then I had a job as a translator. And then,
Okay.
yeah, after a while, it was kind of like, all right, you know, I got done with missing my family, I got done with missing weddings and all that good stuff. So it's like, okay, time to come back home.
Okay,
And the
now
whole time.
let me.
Okay.
Well, I want to hang out in Japan for just a second.
Sure.
You say your latest job in Japan was a translator.
Yeah.
So you had to speak. Which one did you translate? English to Japan or English to Japanese or Japanese to English?
Almost always into English.
Okay, so how did you learn to speak Japanese? Do they pronounce it Japanese in Japan?
No, they call it Nihongo.
That's how you say Japanese in
Yep.
Japanese?
Yeah. So,
Now, what was that again?
Nihongo.
That ain't nothing, nowhere near Japanese.
I know, but that's what they call it.
How do they pronounce the country? Is it a country? Yeah, how do they pronounce the country?
Nihon.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Ooh, you're good.
That is amazing. How is it spelled? And
In English letters, or
I guess it's spelled Nihon in English as Japan, right?
it's actually like if you translate into characters, it's like the origin of the sun.
Land of the rising sun.
Exactly. But over here it would be, I don't know how it became the word Japan. I think it came from Portuguese a little bit, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, no.
I got sidetracked. What's up?
Yeah. I was just wondering how, translation stuff. Now, did you get a chance to play music, bass guitar or guitar while you were over in
I did.
Japan?
I did. Actually, one of the things I did before I left, because I thought I was going to be there for a while, and I was I sent this over. And also while I was there, one of my coworkers actually straight up gave me this.
And what is that right there?
This is a Japanese domestic, like a 57 reissue, precision bass.
Fender Precision or?
Fender Precision bass, made in Japan. I don't know if these ones actually made it to the U.S. market or not.
Well, that's awesome that
Yeah.
you were in the country and you got a authentic
I know.
Japanese guitar in Japan. That's awesome, bro.
They're awesome. Like, there's a lot. If you know what you're looking for and, if you know what you're looking for and where you're looking, then you can get some sweet deals on really, really well-built basses. Like that will blow anything that Fender made out of the water at the time.
Okay, all right. So let's move on for here.
Alright.
So you got homesick, basically,
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
and you came back home,
Right.
and then you found out about the Detroit bass players. How long you been back?
About 6 months, give or take, yeah.
Okay, so how did you find out about what you call the Detroit bass players?
Alright, so, I was hanging out at my rent's place near Sylvan Lake, and there was a gentleman named Roy. I don't remember what his last name is right now, and since I'm on camera, I'm not going to shuffle through Facebook, but we are Facebook friends. And I saw this guy wearing a Detroit Bass Players t-shirt, and I'm like, oh, there's a Detroit Bass Players Club. I did not know this. So I went up and I talked to him. I'm like, hey, where'd you get the Detroit Bass Players t-shirt from? He's like, oh, there's a Facebook group. There's a whole bunch of Detroit bass players. I'm like, really? Because I've been having a lot of trouble finding other musicians around, let alone bass players, right? And so then I joined the Detroit Bass Players Facebook group, and I found out that there's this BASSmint thing going down, and now I'm here, surrounded by bass players.
That is awesome. I believe, I love these stories, man, of these guys. I would have hoped, me personally, I'm going to cut this out, I would have hoped that you had found us while you was in Japan, got homesick, and like, Detroit bass. You know what I'm saying? And then see what happened. That would have been an awesome story. Now, we can do version 2 where you say, well, I found out about you while I was in Japan, and I loved it so much that I just flew right
All right, but that means that I want to start. If we're gonna record all over again, I want to start from the beginning so I don't, flub up the thumping. But still,
No, I'm just playing with you. All right, so look, man. So you've been back 6 months now.
Yeah.
Evidently, you've been practicing, even though you was over there in Japan and all that kind of stuff. You've been practicing. Have you? Are you playing with anybody currently?
Currently, I'm looking for people to play with.
Okay.
I've jammed a couple times, but I've had, not stellar luck in finding a group of musicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, if there's anybody out there looking for, a bass player, maybe kind of bespectacled, maybe kind of doesn't have any hair on his head, I'm down for joining your group. But, I'm hoping to join a group. I'm hoping to find some like-minded musicians, but right now I haven't found anybody yet, which is a drag.
Any particular genre that you may be interested in? Not exclusive. I know you're not exclusive, but any
Let's see,
particular.
what am I not? Oh man, it'd be a lot easier to name what I'm not interested in playing. What am I interested in playing? A lot of funk, a lot of old school metal, a lot of hard rock, some blues. I can kind of BS my way through jazz, but I would not call myself like, a Pastorius or a Paul Chambers or anything like that by any stretch of the
You're the only
imagination.
two guys that can call themselves that.
Well, that is true. There is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We can go on Facebook. There might be another dude named Paul Chambers, but I don't think he's as good of a bass
I don't
player.
think that's that Paul. Yeah.
So basically mostly anything, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Now, like I said, I didn't want to keep you, man, but I wanted to know if any of these expert panel bass players, all of them are bass players, by the way, if they had any questions that they might like to ask you.
What's up?
How has your guitar playing influenced your bass playing?
Nobody ever asked me that one before. I guess that I don't know, I would say that my bass playing's probably influenced my guitar playing a lot more. I mean, guitar and bass, right? If you have a 4-string and the bottom 4 are tuned the same way, right? But once you get up to the 6-string like you have there, it's like it's all tuned in fourths and there's nothing else tuned in a third anymore. So the tuning's kind of off, but
It's like E and B.
yeah, it's
yeah.
E A D G B E.
Right.
Whereas a 6-string bass is what? B E A D G C, correct?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sometimes, yep.
And then what's the 7th one? That would be an F?
Yeah.
F sharp.
F.
Okay,
no.
F sharp.
It depends on if you're going up in pitch or down below the B. Below the B is F sharp.
Oh, right.
Above
That's
above the C is F.
I was thinking above
That's
C.
right.
Tune the B
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
Tune the
this
B
is
Okay.
F sharp down.
But like one of the things I've learned as a bass player while I was over there, I was in this kind of jazzy
Oh.
ensemble.
So you get the high
And
string
the guy,
instead of having the-
you know, I was playing
This-
bass,
this
and the
is
guy
a
was
B
playing
right
bass
here.
was like, look,
No, this one.
listen to my bass drum,
Oh, okay.
listen to my hi-hat, and then
Went down,
play
went down.
around
Yes.
that. Don't go doing your own thing, because then it's gonna sound like we're all disjointed. And it's kind of like, oh wow, that's true. I hadn't really thought of that. So, you know, basically the first thing I listen for or look at, if I can, is the kick drum, then the hi-hat, then the snare, and you know, you try to hit your notes with the drummer. And as a guitar player, you try to do the same thing too, to an extent, right? Like, listen to the hi-hat. When is the hi-hat going? That's your rhythm. In general, I mean, that's not like 100%. It's always like this, you know what I mean? But that's kind of how the one instruments influence the other, is just by like knowing your role, knowing how to support everybody else's role, and how to make the whole ensemble look like a good, like sound like a cohesive unit, rather than, you know, being the one guy who wants to be shredding all day, right?
Okay. Excuse me. Anybody else have any questions for this fine bass
I got
player?
one.
Yes, sir.
Would you prefer 5 or 4-string?
Oh man. Well, 5 strings is definitely more than 4, isn't it? But actually, this guy, this red guy here, it started off life as a 4-string, and I found a conversion kit online to put a 5th string on there. Personally, I prefer having 5 over 4. The drag is that the strings are a lot closer together, so you can't slap as easily, and the neck is thicker. But the thing is that if you were on a 4-string, right? So, I'm trying to think of something really. If you were on a 4-string, it would be kind of like you'd have to play a line, like you'd have to move laterally along
Right.
the neck, like,
And then start playing open.
right?
Yeah.
Which is fine, it's good. But, you know, with the 5th string, the real advantage of the 5th string, you have these extra notes, and that's more like a side effect of having that 5th string. You know, as you probably already know, the best thing about the 5th string is that you can go,
Yes, sir.
ah!
And you can keep going down. And hit a
And
fret.
yeah, you can hit the fret, and then that sets you up for moving to wherever you have to be later on in the song, rather than having to do open string and then up, right?
Yeah.
That's why I prefer the 5s over the 4s.
Well, speaking of that,
Yep.
what the heck is that in your hand anyway, man?
This
Yeah.
guy, this bass is, I'm not. It's called. It's made by a company called The Bass Company, and I actually was playing a 4-string Warwick at the time, and I wanted a 5th string. So.
Let me see the body.
Oh, the body? Isn't it beautiful?
Wait. Slow down.
Oops.
I'm using autofocus here.
All right.
Okay. So you start off with a whatever you said.
All right. So it's a The Bass Company. I got it at Elderly, traded up a 4-string Warwick for this, and it's been, for the most part, my go-to up until I got this red guy here. It sounds kind of like a Stingray. It feels like a Stingray. It's the heaviest thing I've ever had to put on my shoulder. Oh yeah. You know, but you know, I've cosmetically changed it. One time I was in the studio, actually in Japan, and my keyboard player tripped on the guitar stand, knocked it over, knocked the peg clear off. Oh, that hurts.
Did you kill him?
No, I felt like being nice to him. Look, accidents happen, and so I was kind of thinking like, all right, well, let's change all the hardware to gold. you know, added some inlays just to make it look a lot more expensive than it really was.
Is that duct tape?
Is this duct tape?
Yeah.
No, this is actually, oh, the inlays? No, they're actually, I forget what the material's called. They're sold by a company in Osaka called Jokomo. And they're just inlay stickers. I don't remember quite what they're made out of.
My man says that duct tape. duct tape inlays. That's awesome, man.
Keep it real, man.
it might just, it's just crazy enough to work.
Yeah.
I saw the one. The reason I said that is because I saw the one peeling. And I thought it was tape,
Oh, it is taped
and
up.
it kind of reminds me of
Playing gangster.
you know I'm ignorant, so I'm just saying.
I wouldn't call that ignorant, no.
It's
I mean-
it's just a stickers. It's
Yeah.
called fretboard stickers, right?
Yeah, it's purely cosmetic. It doesn't really add anything to the tone or the playing unless the marketer selling this thing says it adds to your tone, in which case it makes all the difference. You know what I mean?
From here, they look like inlays, you know?
Yeah, well,
Not
I mean-
tape.
Well, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when the cameras are done rolling, I could probably show you the webpage of the guys who sell these things. But I mean, they're nice if you want to just kind of, you know.
No,
make
tell
your
us
base-
right now. What's the name of the webpage if somebody wants to buy some?
The web, I don't remember what the web page is, but the company is called Jokomo. It's spelled JOCKOMO.
.com?
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's a .com. If you just Google it,
Okay,
or
yeah, just
Yahoo
Google.
search, or whatever your
And then,
search-
and
whatever
then
your
add fret markers or something like that
Jokomo, I think it might be fret stickers or like inlay stickers or something like that.
too. Okay,
But
because
then-
you never know, man.
Yeah, they're based out of Japan. I think that the guys who run the website speak English pretty well.
Yeah, we're here to help, man.
You
You
know.
never know. This could be what somebody was exactly looking for. Anybody else have any questions for this fine bass player?
Oh, I do have another one.
Yes, sir.
Who was your favorite bass player? I know because there are a million, but
Name a couple of them.
yeah, there you go.
My favorite bass player is a gentleman named Taiji Sawada from a band called X Japan, who's just huge over there. He unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago, but he's absolutely wicked at the slap style. He tapped like he had this really wicked, amazing tapping ability, very melodic, you know, like bone grinding tone. He was incredible. Who else is really good as far as my favorite bass players go?
Tetsu.
I'm sorry?
How you gonna tell him what his favorites is?
I'm just guessing.
I didn't hear what you said though.
I know.
What's his name? Tetsu. How's his last
See, I was
name?
about to go, what?
Wait, for what band?
I know he's from Japan. I know what he's talking about.
Wait, Tetsuo Sakurai?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know of him, I haven't heard the playing.
Domino Line is
Don't
their
know
most
it.
famous song, I think.
I'd have to hear him play.
Yeah, yeah, funny.
I won't sing.
I think other bass players I really like.
There's another girl over in Japan. Her name is Wendy Fua.
Hmm?
Phua. Wendy Fua. Look her up.
I'd have to.
That girl is wicked.
I'm trying to think. John Entwistle's really a great bass player in my opinion. A lot of people's opinion. Noel Redding and Billy Cox from Jimi Hendrix's band. Flea, of course.
Yeah.
Who else? What was his name? The guy in Herbie Hancock and the Headhunters.
Paul Jackson.
Thank you. That gentleman, he's incredible. Trying to think of who else I would consider to be like my favorite, like American bass player.
We don't care where they from.
I don't
Okay.
care where they
We,
come in.
we worldwide.
All right.
We worldwide here,
In that
buddy.
case, check out Taiji Sawada that I just mentioned earlier, the dude from X Japan. There's another guy named I don't remember his last name. His stage name is Tetsuya, and he's from a band called Larkin Ciel. And what he does is he plays with a pick, and he plays all the melodic stuff that really drives the band. Like the whole band kind of centers around him a bit. Who else is great? Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath. Steve Harris from Iron Maiden.
So, did anybody else have any questions for this fine bassist? Anybody? James,
I'm good.
Mo, Tony, Don, Reggie.
I got one more.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What is your favorite track to play along with your bass?
Chameleon.
Okay.
That was just too easy of a question.
Do you know the whole song? All three suites, or what would you call it? Three movements. Yeah, yeah. That's two. You know the third one? No, the do. That's awesome, man.
That's the current version.
Ain't nobody ever plays that
Something like
at a
that,
jam
yeah.
session all the way through.
Well,
They always do that first part, and I'll be one. Let's do part 2. Let's do part 3, please. Any more questions for the fine basses?
Where do you see a bass playing going?
My bass playing?
Yeah.
Going?
What
Into my apartment and probably not leaving.
Why you think they call it the basement?
I mean, you wanted to join a band.
I do. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, what is the purpose of your playing? I mean, not saying that you know what I'm saying. It's like,
where do you want to take it, or what's his aspirations?
What do you see? Yeah. Thank you.
As far as being
Like the word aspirations?
I love it. I couldn't think of it at the time.
as far as aspirations on bass goes, just to have a group of people to create with around the Detroit area would be good. I mean, I know that going pro and all that is not really in the cards for me anymore, right? It would be fun,
Maybe.
but then again, being a musician would also then be my day job, and I'd have to deal with all the other stuff that that day job involves, right? But I'd like to have some place to create, to have fun, to meet people, and honestly just enjoy the experience of, manipulating sound to make other people feel enjoyment. You know what I mean?
Okay, that is so awesome, man. I tell you what, let's see if we can help this brother out, our Detroit bass playing brother. If I wanted to get a hold of you, or if anybody wanted to get a hold of you, listen to some of your playing, maybe contact you, and maybe contact you to play, how can we do that? Where can we find you?
You can find me, Joshua Friedman, under the Detroit Bass Players Club, or you can probably find me on Facebook. That's that's the best way to get in touch with me is through Facebook.
Okay, so on Facebook, your name will be Joshua
Friedman, or it would be facebook.com/JSHFRDMN.
Right, and when he said the Detroit Bass Players Club, what he means is, I believe he means Detroit Bass Players on Facebook.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I don't think they have the word club in there.
Yeah.
But you can probably Google it and all of this stuff will pop up.
Yeah, so find me on Detroit Bass Players Facebook group, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Any recordings you on or anything that we can listen to? From Japan or something?
Oh man, if you ask me really, really nice, I can look through my DVDs that I had.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I used to play the clubs there, somebody would make a DVD of every single show I played.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ask me really, really nicely, I can fish through the DVDs and find some stuff of me playing bass.
Okay, well, we will contact you
Awesome.
through your Facebook or the Detroit Bass Players page and speak nicely to you and have you pull out some of them DVDs, man. Maybe I might even add some of it to this, to your interview here,
Awesome.
Is there anything, before I let you go and let you play us out, is it
One question.
Wait a minute.
There's one question.
One question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, because like for me, for instance, I quit the touring group in '79 and did blah 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 blah. Now it seems like you have to balance the job and play at the same time. In what capacity are you willing to play? Because that's what most, when you're looking for work, that's what they're going to ask you. How much can you commit? I mean, can you travel, or do you have a family commitment, or do you want to just working in the weekends in the clubs, or a specific amount of gigs that you want to do per month, or things like that?
That's a good question. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I mean, I do have, I have my wife. I got to take care of her. You know, probably gonna have other, you know, family commitments coming along in the future. You know, and to be level with you, I like my day job. I like the people I work with. I prefer keeping it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't want to commit to something that I don't, you know, that will keep me from being able to, you know, keep my commitments to my full time. That will keep me from being able to keep my commitments to my family, right? So yeah, I mean, I guess I would be a great like weekend warrior, right?
That's cool.
But
cool.
besides that, that's about the level I can really pull. Now, I'm
That's
not,
okay though, man, because see, like I saw myself as a weekend warrior too, but I landed a gig with an A-list guy who managed to work around.
Really?
Yeah, and I still played a few gigs with this guy.
well, hey, incredible.
Yeah, so I mean, you just never know who's watching and who might want to. Who might want to say, put this to the side. I don't care if this guy blah blah blah. I'm gonna use him, but this time and this time anyway. You never know who might say, I need to contact this guy.
All right.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, if somebody gonna select you and want you to play, you gotta play something for. So could you please play us out,
Sure.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Josh Friedman, a Detroit bass player.